folks, let's get to it. Tuesday edition. A lot to talk about. Obviously, big new highs. Let's bring it on over here. What's going on, chat? Settle in. People are coming in. Get comfortable. Let's get to it. How are you guys doing today? Awesome. Great to see people in the chat. Let me boost my levels a smidge. Great to see you guys. What's up, GGH, David, Mr. Rooster, William, producer, Wayne, Leo. Guys, get over to harmonictrader.com. Get the greatest software. Who's got better levels than Harmonic? Anybody? Give me one software that's spitting out levels like HPC. I'd check it out. Seriously. You guys need to check it out. So, especially new people, send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. sr-analyst.com is my software partner. He will hook you up with a 14-day free trial. And for everything else, start at harmonictrader.com as a basic member, okay? Want to know how we do what we do? It's not difficult. You just have to look at the right material. Use the right tools. Get stuff like 30-second shark pattern on NASDAQ. Type 1 retest. A lot to get into. How about the market? S&P, NASDAQ. Boom, bada boom. Who would have thought we would have even come close to all-time new highs? Harmonic. Yep. So harmonic levels not only tell us targets, zones, but they give us character reads. And that's what I want to talk about today, kids. What are we doing with this insanely bullish move since the low in April? Anybody that was shorting down there kicking themselves. And my opinion, kids, is that we go higher. Are we going higher? Yes. We're going higher. We're going higher. How high? That's up to you. But levels, harmonic, we need to kind of start talking 23 plus and then start shifting the larger scenario as we get further along. That zone in the NASDAQ futures weekly chart and the S&P futures chart are just phenomenal. And we're going to be, like I said, be measuring off of these weekly, monthly patterns for the next 2 years, even if we absolutely blow this out. A couple things that are new we probably need to address quickly here is the fact, big events, that NASDAQ and S&P are now making the run back into the overbought. I'll give it a big fat arrow right there. Oh, we can do better than that. Let's make it bright and shiny. And can I make it bigger? Yeah, let's make it large, grande, as they say. Yellow, bang. Okay, so look. No, that didn't do much. But regardless, there you go. We are back now up into the zone, which is a big deal because now that makes the entire sideways to higher grind of the last 6-8 weeks significant enough where we're going to see that follow through. Been talking about it. Look, I said the second and third week of June needed to be blockbuster. They were. So what's the rest of the summer got to look like? If you're NASDAQ, you're going to just start the steady climb from here, week over week, maybe 3, maybe 5 weeks in a row. But I'm expecting July to really push through this air and expand up here. It might be only 2 or 3 weeks, but we're expanding. So today is down 180. Consider that a gift. Beyond that, what would you obviously look for? Let's say this type 2, and that's what this is. It's a massive type 2. We know that. We've been talking about the type 2 return since about 18,000. To go back, retest maybe the 886 of this range. We got to 21K. That was a key number. Then we got above the hop. And the way we blew through the hop, guys, is significant. A lot of times, one singular massive bar at the right level is going to tell us a whole bunch of what's possible. Um, Textbook bullish engulfing. Close at, above key resistance. Still need to get above all-time high. That's like 23.9. But it's just the first tap. So a lot to get to. Okay, and the other way to gauge this how high here is, look, we've been talking about the daily bat pattern here on NASDAQ. Just blowing through the zone like that. It's what we call a harmonic dud. So how do you know? And we talked about this in our session 2 Fridays ago. How do we know that that's a dud? Well, we really don't know until day 5. And even with confirmation, and this could have been a trade that you could take possibly on a 5-minute basis, because there's T1 designation, there's the dot. You start looking in that zone, and it just goes sideways grind, and there's enough there. You're talking 10, almost 15 bars of no action before it breaks out. So that bar from last Tuesday was a big deal. Now today, possible HSI trigger for the first time on the daily looks like this. But that's an early signal, and that's not until that will come out today, but we don't even have to deal with it till tomorrow. And I would be looking for the retest, which is 22,915, and then maybe like a dot higher. 23,595, guys. That's my maximum summer rally target. How about that? We talked about that last time. We talked targets last time. But the bigger consequences of what's currently unfolding are absolutely astounding. And there's only one scenario. I want to be really clear. Okay? There is only one scenario above these highs. And that is, we go, another push, 1618, price discovery. The thing we've been waiting Bitcoin to do, well, it did. But break out above. Okay, I'm going to plant that in the back of everybody's mind. This is why you guys come here. Learn the levels. Learn what it is. It's a sequence. We're dealing with the 886 retest. What's that look like? Big V-shaped return. Excuse me, I don't care about your prior peaks here. I'm going to blow on through. And so, and not only that, you blew the wicks. Really where it was getting kind of wicky at 22K. No thanks. Straight on through. And I'm looking for 23.1 like immediately. But, I mean, you could do it one of two ways. Just straight off saying, let's go to the 886, or, maybe we'll scratch the 113. That's 23.6. 23.6, a big number. I think we scratch it. I think we scratch it on this move before you see any kind of peak in July. What do you guys think? If that's the case, of course, 3%, 5% max, more to go. But you can get some overspill. You can get nice moves. I mean, you got the big boys. You got NVIDIA running. You got Microsoft running. You got Meta. And the semis don't stop. And this is going to be the play. Look, where's my socks? There she is. Socks. Okay, semiconductor index. This is within tech. This is the reason why you're seeing what you're seeing. And what I think a lot of people fail to realize is that there was It was a pretty sharp bear market at the low. You got to remember that we were 3,500. All right. And up here was like 58, 5,900. Okay. That's really getting close to a 50% haircut. Certainly 40 plus off the total top. I mean, you don't get those kind of corrections all too frequently, once every 5 years, because the chip industry is just, you see it on the chart. What's the trend for chips, guys? I don't, we don't have to complicate it. Go back 10 years. If you can't draw a trend line, trend channel like that, it's not trending. We want trending stuff. Semiconductors are trending, and there's a lot here. I'm going to just hit a couple and kind of pound maybe this idea home. It's the 1st of July. Great. NVIDIA, something going on there. Last 3 months, whatever that was for the first 6, okay, that was a big shakeout in my opinion, with an impressive doji. That escapes me. I think Hangman, Shooting Star. Somebody correct me. What's the proper monthly doji hammer candle there? Mitch knows better than me, but that's a critical candle, and then you follow it up 1-2. Big move. This is NVIDIA, and I think I want to keep it simple. 1618 advance for NVIDIA gets you more like up here to like 195. And I want to, I'm going to be planting ideas in your brain like that, because just so you don't get confused listening to some knucklehead who says, oh, we're nearing a top. We're almost at a top, or it's gone too far, or this budget's going to do whatever. It doesn't matter. What has transpired over the last 90 days, folks, is nothing short of one of the strongest V-shaped recoveries I've ever seen. To do such a nice flush. That was like 2022 on steroids. Instead of taking 2 years, the whole thing took about 9 months. And it matters. It's like the next iteration of the market leg. So dig in, guys. Get ready. I mean, stocks to the promised land. Yeah, I'll talk about Bitcoin. I'll talk about crypto. But I want to be strong with this in terms of where you can just easily wait for simple 5-minute or 30-minute pullbacks or little patterns within this uptrend. You're down today. All right, last HSI dots right here this morning on a flush out. And just keep buying those. Or where's the hourly? I know on the, there you go, NVIDIA. This is what I'm talking about. This is, again, we're looking for, today it's down 175. Great. I hope it drops another couple hundred. But right now, I would start looking at NVIDIA, because if this is just going to continue to all-time new highs, that was it. NVIDIA triggering here at like 154, what's the exact open trigger? 153.40, about $1 off of that. But, we don't get these hourly pullbacks too frequently. And in this uptrend, as it just continues to ride, they are important continuation points. Just like there, okay, about 3 weeks ago at 140, and then again down here 133. That was significant because look, it did the bypass. The bypass failure. Remember we talked about that? For those that either listened to the recording or came to the session, we talked about, 1, how to read this, and 2, what does it mean when you fail the hop and then get a counter signal? Yeah, project it up. 3618 targets were hit. Now you're getting another continuation. That's what I'm looking for. Next few weeks into July, sure, we'll probably make a peak somewhere, but that would be about it. What was the other one? Oh, uh, well, I got to call out Robinhood. I've been telling you guys, Robinhood going to 110. We hit 99 this morning, and this has just been one of those things where it was an unbelievable type 1 off that butterfly, but even above like the 886 here. You know, I was talking about that like around 63, 62. Once that busted the 886, what do? We go 1618 price discovery. And that was hit yesterday. That's at 90. And what should happen here? Look, we're strong into that zone. And I think on this move, like 1902 is a touch above 101. Probably for this move. Earnings coming up end of the month, so something's up. And then weekly, remember, if it's going to do a Palantir, which I said this is had Palantir written all over it, and and this is just one stock, okay? We go minimum all time, and that's a 786 at the B point. C's like right there, and then 127. That's 106, 105. If not more. I mean, if it's going to do crazy things, then it goes all time 1618. It certainly didn't even think about the 886 at 75. By the time it cracked 75, the full on move to 105, 110 was gone. What's a crazy 1618? Just so we know, is like 130. Let's say that goes all time price discovery 1618 on the weekly. You're talking 130. That's Palantir style move. So what I really want to show is just that things are happening and you're getting good movement. And and there's stocks running, stocks pausing, but overall, things are happening. Monster beverage, guys, this is just a little overextended now. I told you I like that, and I'm really looking at Celsius as well. That's the beverage there, up 40 at 46. That looks like real nice recovery action. So interesting stuff. Few more. Let's quick look at Connell and Coinbase. What's going on here? It's a type 2. All right, type 2 up there. Type 2 on the weekly bat pattern. Is that it? Yeah, you got to start looking. We do have a dot that will come. One more candle out. So one more red candle out. 330 is your XA level. I would really be focused on this. If we're not going to get anything out of crypto until the fall, I would expect some kind of correction or a pullback. Retracement. Connell, max target was 52. And we backed off that 10 points already. 51 and a quart. That was the bigger shark. I think we talked about that. I'm good with that for now. I'm good for that. Good with that for now. Let it come on back. One or two more. Just to kind of, annoy you with these slow, steady big tech. Amazon, Google, Meta, they are just continuing themselves. They have a number of them have big patterns to retest. Amazon's going to be the other one that will know if we're at a summer peak. Amazon will be like 230, 232. So I'm watching that. I'm also watching AMD for the amazing recovery. Now It got rejected. Check out the weekly. Okay, a dot at target 134. That's about it for now. I know people wanted to chase that up a pole. That's about it for now. We'll get pullbacks. Again, minimum. Can you wait for a 4 hour? Whatever the next 4 hour signal is. Last one was bearish. That's how we read that. Sure. Why don't you guys hit me in the chat here with a couple more stocks? I need to do a quick refill. Be right back. And while I'm doing that, show me a couple of stocks, and then we'll segue to crypto while I need a refill. All right, let's go. Start right from the top. Yeah, we can go to Tesla. Tesla's just waiting. I'm back. Let's go. Tesla, guys, is like this. Testing that. Speaking of testing, oh, hold on one second. Hold on. I got to check some levels here. That looks good, and then that does not look good. So here we go. That's going to be a boost. A little boost in the sound. Much better. Let's go to Tesla because I'm waiting for the perfect entry. You can never get the perfect entry, so they say on Tesla. But what we've done here on the 4 hour chart, just in the last, I don't know, 6 weeks, is pretty critical for where that perfect spot is for Tesla. I think it's still 267, believe it or not. A couple more tweets between him and Trump, and it'll be there. But we do have really nice, look, type 1, bat pattern, go to target 1 with a crab, back to back. Then you do the type 1 reaction, and then you go almost perfect type 2. That was so close. So close. 360. Basically squeeze between 360, call it 350 because of that failed test, and 267. But if we hit that, I mean, what I'm looking to do for Tesla, okay, this is a bat on the daily, is even better. If we can type 2 that bat pattern, I think that would be it. I think it'll be your final attempt to make it run at 250 area generally, psychologically, and this could be it for the decade. I really mean that. I mean, like, that's kind of what I'm thinking on Tesla. Certainly Tesla to do a type 2 off of here once it's reached 401. Could be where they sell it off into earnings. Okay, 4 weeks from tomorrow. 3 weeks from tomorrow, sorry. But I still like it. And I would hope that they would dump it. You know, dump it to like back to 220. It's a gift. I think it's not even about price, and you could buy it at 260 and have it go to 220. Did that before. And then rebound back, and that would be it. Kind of like what we saw back in March and April. Look, pattern completed. went straight through T1, no confirmation until like really like 4 days, 5 days later. That was more like 250. It went to 210, 215, and then rallied. Tesla is harmonic stock. I mean, it really respects the levels. 4 hour chart showing you exactly that. And I think it's a lot like Apple. It's hilarious. People are talking about how Apple's oversold. Sorry, it's overbought. It's overvalued. They're not growing at the same clip that they used to. Really? Okay, that might be good for about a 10% correction, but like Tesla, Apple here, that's going to be the big event. And I think if that comes this fall, let's say Tesla and Apple are the two key ones that give us some kind of correction, and then they both type 2 to mark the next inflection in this 10-year insane channel, which is just continues. I mean, look at all the patterns, and all the bearish ones are just a type 1 reaction, and then you fail and go. The bullish ones are all at the bottom of the trend channel. Money. Like baseball card positioning. Be aware of that. Harmonically, we're one retest away. And then what does Apple do? It just goes back to all-time new highs. We finish this retest, and then a year or more, you're 260-ish. And don't get me wrong. I don't want to be complacent, but I am looking for a next after we finish what's going on. I will be looking for a retracement opportunity. It's going to be at higher levels. Market's going to give us a hard, fast 5% down, 7% down if we're lucky between now and the end of the year. And that's going to be the last one to jump on for what I think will be a mega run throughout next year. A lot going on. And sometimes just having the, I don't know, just having the experience to and the understanding of what the patterns do as they're building and building. Like, is that really going to happen? Is the market really going to go to all-time new highs? Yeah. It's the writing's on the wall. You know, I mean, not just all-time new highs, but 1618 price discovery. This is exactly what we talked about beginning in January. Couple more. Chase wants to look at ASAN. Requested that a few times. Look at that. Look at that, man. That's a pretty picture. Couple of patterns down here. Package software. Type 1, type 2, all over the place. What about a weekly? That's one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a while. Not trending. I mean, you know, we're really bottom fishing, flounder style here. But you got a lot. I mean, you've got even weekly confirmation. Now, you could be sitting on that for a long time. Just be clear. But I like it. And the daily's got the type 2 where, you know, just be aware that like 13, you're 13 bucks, almost 14. Confirmation is right there 2 days, 3 days ago, right around 12.94. You're going for target 2 because look, target 1, type 1, right there to target $1 couple of dots, back on down. And now dot to dot, what's that say? Well, you're 3 days from a last bullish dot. I don't know, it'll take a while to get to target 2, but not bad. Not bad. I'd rather be trending, but I like that. Probably today is day 3 of that scenario. Hey, Jason, yeah, that would be great. Tesla 268, 267. I'm holding on for that. UNH for Mr. Casa. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Mr. Casa wants United Healthcare, everybody's favorite health insurer. Um, you know, if you're a subscriber, I don't think you can really say anything bad about them, can you? Or they'll cancel your maybe they'll cancel your insurance. I don't know, but monthly here, yeah, oh, it's okay. It got destroyed. What is there? I don't really have anything here. You're looking for the recovery. Even on the 4-hour chart, normally we'd get something. Mm, don't really can't give you much on there. It would need to develop. It's certainly in price at a major correction point, but I would like I'd prefer to let that swim around for another month or two. Show me something give me a bat pattern retesting the low or something to send that. A couple more. What is you got one, so I'll pass on that other one. I don't know what that is. Looks like DJT. You mean Donald Trump? Donald J. Trump? Or, yeah, Donald J. Trump, DJT, back down here with type 2. It's 1579. You got some prior patterns, but why? I mean, why? If you're MAGA and you want to wear your colors and donate, go ahead. That's a donation, in my opinion. Guys, trending. Like, can we look at a chart and just pull up a daily or even 4 hour? Is it like this or is it like that? It's like that. Trending chart is Amazon. There you go. Go to the daily. Yeah, daily. I mean, it's like that. Something that a daily that we can dig into now. There's, I think one of the guys said something about Nike recently. GME. That GME is interesting. I know I mentioned that. And we had a shark at $21, guys. It's this shark. So I guess if you want to play with this stuff, this might be a shot. Now, I wish we would have hit 2073, but in effect, if this is the one problem with the shark, sometime I probably need to do a little tweak on it. But the shark needs this. The shark needs a minimum 1618 impulse move down, which is like right there, and it needs an 886. So that's why, boy, it's so close. It's right there at like 21. If that would have come down another 20 cents, I'd say go. But if you, for some reason, need to buy this, it's not really trending, but it's a speculative recovery play. You're getting close. A couple more. Go to Bitcoin and then crypto. Yes, Bitcoin and crypto will now be categorized into new asset classes. Kraft Heinz, long the ketchup, short the mustard. I like it as a forever stock. I really, this kind of company where you're just like looking to kind of throw darts and ride volume growth over the decade, I guess, but can't really say it's trending. We're right back at the lows from 4 years ago. Meh. I like the idea. I really do. Because you guys know I love and own PM Philip Morris, which has done amazing things, and Altria Group MO. Both of those same kind of play, but these are moving and they pay a fat dividend. Well, PM no longer. They ate it up in the principal and the underlying stock. True. That's it. I'll show you one that is moving. Merck, guys. This is the 3 ideas for my crew a month or so ago. Right at 77. crab, the confirmation was 76.70. That could be something. This hasn't done anything in years. But I'm looking at other areas. Like if the market's going to break out, then you're going to get some rotation eventually. Let's see what's down and dirty. Like that. Or the other one was Target, right? 103, but we know that Target's it's a massive type 2 now with the dot. And this is what makes the difference. There's the bat. The type 1 was there, 1 and then 2. Now with a dot. I mean, that was on Friday. And so literally the first time to consider this, I would say since back here, 2023, and here we are 2025. It is a recovery play. Maybe you wait another week or two, but it's close. Nike's the same deal. Another bat. Is this it? Like finally, Nike, are you going to turn around? Have you finished your 4-year bear market yet? 73.58. Above that, you can start thinking about it. Yeah. Couple more. I don't know what a Hartley is. What about Rigetti for Steven? What's up, Steven? It's right at the dot. It's just kind of hugging the dot here on that uptrend channel. Can this thing return back to 13? That's kind of the immediate play we're looking for. Yeah, QSI. That was a mistake, guys. It worked out, but that was the wrong one. I was talking about QS. And I said that. I caught myself in that, and that was last week. But QuantumScape was the other one we were talking about, and it did a big move. I don't know if that was you guys or not, but remember we had these patterns at 475, hop at $4 it held, and it almost went to 8. What do you do with that? Is you target one me back at $6 and get a counter HSI and go again. Not there yet. QSI, you should be up a little bit, but it's just not rocking. Even if you got in and you're up, I would, if this thing doesn't move in a couple more days, just scratch it. There's better things out there. LAC is another one of those low floaters. I know it's like $3, 270. There's patterns at 260. It's just going to take a while because what is really in control here is a monthly pattern. It's a monster, and sometimes though I think we don't understand or have the proper time expectation. Here's the completion, but that was a year ago, February. And then the first confirmation was last September. And the retest, the optimal entry point was back in March, April. So the real possibility with confirmation off of that pattern to do anything spectacular started about, 6 weeks ago. And we have to just to get clear on this, but this is like any low floater, get it above the 50. That's when you got a shot at actually doing something. If it's $4, $2, $10, whatever the low floater it is, the indicators have to be pointing in the proper direction above critical midline levels. That's that. Yeah. What's up, Dales? Sweet Green. Oh, I keep seeing that, and then there was some news or whatever. Okay, doing the IPO 886. There is nothing on Sweet Green except for let it come in. Now there's the daily. Deep crab. Here it is doing the 886 IPO reset. Goes up, comes all the way back. Where's the 886? That's at like 1040. I keep an eye on that one. That kind of reminds me of Shake Shack, but Shake Shack, look, that's trending. That is trending. Like it's doing a lot better than Sweet Green. pretty much any outfit that sells hamburgers, you have to run a pretty bad business not to be able to sling hamburgers on scale and make it work. Especially their $15 hamburgers. Are you kidding me? Don't know. Guys, let's segue to Bitcoin and then crypto. So I think the Bitcoin maxis are going to enjoy this, that you guys are now going to get priority, top priority, for a mandatory review of Bitcoin. And then maybe we'll talk about anything else that is now just crypto. Because I'm firmly of that belief after going through 1,000 symbols and finding very little, and then just having Bitcoin generate beautiful and bountiful HSI swing dots and patterns like this. You know, the 4-hour, we're still in that shark consolidation zone. It's, you know, and everyone's just, you know, reaching for the latest narrative, the latest Bitcoin treasury company. Go have fun. Enjoy that. I would just trade the Bitcoin price. And that's it. What happened to my Bitcoin? Here you go. Coinbase, Shark, daily. Here's the thing about what's been going on with this Shark. A lot of people frustrated. That's what a Shark is supposed to do. It's supposed to frustrate you. Especially when it doesn't give the clean 5-0 reaction and then does stuff like this. Let me be clear. This is still down. I'm still looking for target 1. All right, or a dot. Now we do have a dot. We have some things here, which is back at 104. Consider this latest retest at 108 done, and we're back to 104. The immediate range between 108 and 104, but I would say another flush to 100K is due. Oh, sorry about that. Got the audio back. What's going on? Hey, Mitch Ray's in the house. What's up, Mitch? I had my volume off for a second to give you a proper entrance. I think we're good now. We are good. Let me check. Yeah, we're good now, guys. Sorry. It was just temporary. But Mitch Ray in the house. What's up, Mitch? Mitch enters as I'm dissing the short-term action of Bitcoin. All I'm saying, Mitch, is, you know, 108's it for now. 106, 104, short-term support. 100, pretty easy. The 4-hour chart's been pretty reliable. And we're kicking out patterns left and right. You know, I would say even if we came back and did the type 2, we had a bat pattern. It did the 1 and then did the 2. Then all the way back down. Here's a fresh new pattern at 99. And it's, you know, there's all the things that crypto loves to do harmonically, where it loves to go to target 2. Initial reaction. There's a deep crab right at the 1618. And then what's it do? It just explodes through target 1. Even explodes to target 2, goes to the dot. You're done. Can't get through the dot at 108. And now we go back down. Give me another signal. You are oversold right now. I mean, you're down there, but you have to pop out. And you've got 2.5 hours. Maybe tonight you come out. but we need something like that. We need that. You need a couple of signals. 4 hour chart. The daily is it's kind of meh, and a third peak lower. And we know that there's patterns up here. I mean, that's the thing. You're there, third pattern, third time lower, now with the zone. That's the deal. So let's just adjust expectations. I'm not dissing Bitcoin. If anything, I'm giving it proper love by saying it is an asset class all to itself. And, the rest of it, yeah, just another lower high. Yeah, and again, those threes, they could get violated eventually, but the clear action of the way to release and resolve this resistance off the shark is through a type 1 reaction. We're day 40, but so what? Now we're day 1 post confirmation, and then you can reset it. Think of it that way. That resets back down. Keep an eye on it. What about total? And I'm not talking total. I'm talking like total 3 and the rest. Because I'll segue into, if you guys want to shill some other with this total 3 read. Okay, take out BTC and Ethereum. We really should go others. But we're here at a critical time, in my opinion, June 21st. All right, we got to do the return move, wouldn't we? Not only off of this little bat, but back down, retesting the prior pattern. Look, there's a lot of argument here for this larger retest to start to unfold over the next couple of days. That's the total 3. And then you take out the top 10 where you have the others index. What do we have? Multiple patterns, but still look. We need the full retest, and even off that small bat, that's all that was. We had a small bat pattern, and how many influencers were just saying, this is it, alt season's here. Nope. Alt season for them was 5 days. And maybe it was part of this, but that was just a type 1 move. Now we're back down. That's like 207, maybe as low as 201, guys. And that's still 10% lower. Look, one of my bigger positions now, crypto, is PaxG. And that's just the gold play. But here we are, another daily HSI bullish triggered yesterday, and the 4 hours even better because it was a dot yesterday. Look at all these patterns. So if you're looking at PaxG or wondering about gold, 3,300 should hold here and be the next launch point. And what's amazing is 3,350 on the gold price is a floor. It hasn't been resistance. It poked through and then kind of retest, backtest 3,300, 3,350. I think this is just kind of going to stay here for a while and then start to make its way up. New highs, 35, 36, 3,700 later this year. It's probably from here, guys. But that's PaxG. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here. Mitch is right. Mitch is saying there's no alt season. And you might go down that there is no season at all. I hate to say it. People were asking me about hype last time, and I said that was a sell. And I facetiously said because it's up. And it's basically done some amazing things, but that's probably not going to be sustainable. And it did put in some daily HSI like of something that's done anything. But I don't, guys. I really not crazy about it. And then we've got the 4 hour stuff where it was a 1-2. You sold it off. People started looking it back again. $40 is probably it for now. Back to 30. That's one of the better ones. And the others like Solana, XRP, they have zero, very little positive bullish construction at hand. And I think something like Solana, you got to go back to 130. You're currently 147. All right, we had the shark. And I really wish I could be more constructive on this whole area, but I can't. Solana with the shark on the daily is probably a good one to look at, but come on back to the zone. You can't even, it's another lower high. And the weekly is what has me for Solana because we just put in another bearish HSI that looks like that. So look, can we break out of the downtrend off of that test? I mean, it has to be something like that. There's not a lot there. Like, if I could say, yeah, Solana's really a place to be, I can't say that. Maybe back at 105. But I'm not, I just don't like it. And the reason why, there's concrete reasons why. This amplified getting rejected at the 50, that's my super fast RSI indicator. All right, rejected from the 50, rolling back down. That's a weekly chart. And then we're under 50 here. I mean, you get maybe a second red candle down and you start like that. There's nada here. Nada. And I want to be really clear. Like if you were looking for that time, now it's not it. XRP, just hanging up here. What do you do with it? There's just not much I can offer. I mean, you want to throw darts at it, 220 or $2, but I discussed that last time. That there's a shark. Like if none of this holds and this just continues to roll down, I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just kind of outlining what the only possibility is under like 180 is a shark. I haven't seen a daily pattern, a bullish pattern generate anything here. And if you're in crypto, you're going to be waiting all summer. Totally agree. It says stocks are the way to go, and I agree. That's it. Cubic for William. I'm willing to look at a couple, guys. I'll look at a couple here, but they're going to be like this. Sideways to flat, no pattern, looking for a larger retest. That's it. And even I'd say anything on a 4 hour? Yeah, okay. The 4 hour chart's like that. You have a type 2 coming in here, but it's not ready yet. And at best, you're going to go from 13 millionths, whatever it is, to 15 millionths. As long as you're willing to go entry to target, have at it. Beyond that, big moves, no. Big moves, no. And here's the other reason why. Okay, just so we cover, so people are asking, well, what about Ethereum? What about Solana? What about XRP? Whatever. Ethereum, just look at the zone. Look at what we have here. It's deep crab. It is actually a 1-2 because of what happened all the way over here. But the secondary shot was just rejected by, I mean, not only just close, exactly 28.50. And when I see that kind of rejection, that tells me that the likelihood of going back, retest the deep end of the zone, like as low as terminal or even hop, is there. Did we get to the terminal? We did retest terminal already. And we would need to retest as low as like 2180 before we could even assume confirmation. I don't know why people are hyped on Ethereum, because the chart is not, I don't know, the chart does not look like it's in a spot where it has finished consolidation or even longer term retracement. Here's the weekly. And the weekly, lower HSI. My guess would be you retest. If I'm looking at that chart, no label on it, I'd say, yeah, you're going to probably go back to that green line. What's that? 1590, 1600? That's the cold read. The cold read. I would kind of, it's a similar situation to what we had back here. And yeah, it led to a larger move, but more consolidation. I'm just talking next 30 days. Next 90 days, it's going to be like this. Consolidate and then retest what the last bull trigger was. There and there. I don't know, guys. Tell me I'm wrong. But I just want you to be careful on that. Okay. I know people are still talking about, hey, this coin, that coin. Nothing will run in a sustained manner that you want to be a part of until Bitcoin's above 115,000 or something surprising takes shape where crypto asset allocation starts running. I'll give you last one, which is this H bar, this is, to me, H bar is the poster child for XRP and a lot of these others that have yet to come all the way down. That XRP is going to probably do a full 886. It took 6-7 months. It peaked out. Now we're down here. There is zero here at 14 cents. And the full 886 with the shark is like 8 cents. Just connecting dots. The daily's like this. Okay, you do have a shark pattern. Software is kicking out the shark. That's great. That's something, at least. But no confirmation. And you have like a 1-2 day thing. Tell me what it does in the first 3 to 5 bars. It did a pop and then it's rolling back down. So come on back to 12.6 or even 11 for now. Nothing here actionably long. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I don't think it's ETH. Jason's saying he thinks, until Ethereum wakes up, nothing will move. I think it's Bitcoin. Until Bitcoin's gangbusters, like getting people FOMO'd in, no one's going to put anything in the crypto market. That's just how it's going to go. On a side note, listen, let's do it really quick here, guys. I want to show you something. Something I started last year was a funded futures account. And I started another one again. And I'm going to just kind of go through here. And I want to show you guys. So today's day 2. And hold on. Let me see if I can get the screen capture right. And show you where I'm at. So I passed the first one. And then what happened was I was up in the funded section and didn't know the rules. And I only had a 50K account. So I was up like, I don't know, $2,000 on the account or $3,000. And I had a runner and the thing ran and I was up. But then intraday, it pulled back on me where the bigger move, it stopped out. It had like I was up like, I don't know, like 1,800 and it had, I don't know, like a $1,000 check back really quick on futures. And that exceeded my trailing tolerance. So I had to learn the rules. But now, So what did I do? I went back and I got a 100K account. So let me show it so I don't show my account number. Hold on. Not that it really matters. Um, okay, so today's day 2 into it. I get it doesn't matter. It's eval. So far I need to make 6K. Yesterday I did about 1100 and I need and today I'm up like 3K. So I'm hoping to finish that off either by tomorrow or definitely by the end of the week. And I know a lot of people are interested in it. I don't get it. Like, I really need to get it. It's something I've been wrapping my head around because why not just trade with your own money? Get like, I've always said this, get like 2,000 bucks. Start there. But I think what it is that there's a risk buffer, if you will, that just maybe makes it psychologically easier. I don't know. But I think we can do it with patterns and kind of do it where we're featuring stuff like, here's a 5 minute type 2. And I guess that was right before we started the show here. But doing larger swing trades like this with the software and then making that kind of a dedicated session. I mentioned this last week and I think I put the pieces together. What I want to do is just pass this thing by later today. I actually probably only need, like, I'm up $3,000 a day. I only need like $1,000, and I should have it by the end of the day. And so what I'm looking at, where's the dome? So here's the dome. Okay, here's the dome. Let me bring this 726. There you go. So and I'm trading mostly NQ here. Okay, trading 1, 2, sometimes 3s here. The big one, not the mini. So you get the thing to move 10 points, 20 points. You're talking $500,000 moves. And quickly, and more in a scalping fashion, which is, I like to be, if I'm going to do day trade moves, I'm looking for the larger move. But with this, I think the best way is just do your screen time, scalp it 10 to 50 points. 50 is a great move, but 10 to 20 with super tight stops. And I'm going to bring this really into what we do on a weekly basis. What's the next entry point right now? Probably a sell. Just against the 5-minute dot here at 30. I don't have anything. I'm always looking like 5-minute or 30-second time frame like that. What's that? Okay, there you go. Little Gartley here on the 32nd should get us to, oh, this is a pretty good one. We just had that check back confirmation right there at 32. 30 is a big number, and the way I'd look at that is, can we get down to target 1, 676? All right, that's pretty nice one. Again, the 5-minute chart helps to line it up where the 5-minute swing is overbought. And oh yeah, look, we're retesting. It's a type 2 again off of that crab pattern. 43 rejected. So what's that? Hold on a second. Let me bring that back. How many of you guys are in doing this? Quick question. How many people are running futures? How many people run in futures and how many run in a funded account? I'd be curious to know. I'm not crazy about it. I want to kind of prove what I'm doing here, but I think with the 100K account, that's going to be big enough for me for how I want to play it without being, it's not a lot of money. Yeah, it's Apex, and I'm not crazy about him either. I want to see. I want to see. I think what I can do is give it like a week or two, get this thing passed, and then should be able to bang a few grand and see if they actually pay the money out. It's before I do anything. I also wouldn't say he's really a friend, but a guy who I've talked to before, Brett Simba over at Tradeify. He's got a new thing. I don't know. I've heard some mixed stories. I think I tried Top Step when they first came out and did not like them. So if you guys have any other companies you could recommend, let me know. I see the need. I see what it fills, but the rules are kind of, I don't know. I would be more like get a couple grand together and trade your own money. But I also see the advantages, like if they're going to give you some size, and then people do seem to think it's like a filter. Like, hey, if I lose this money, I'm not losing my own money. Yeah, I would try. Listen, with the futures, if you're brand new, I would sim trade it for sure. Even this platform doesn't move. I even made the mistake. This is the wealth charts. This isn't even their what I really should be on the Ninja setup, running our Ninja for HPC, even though I'm running TradingView. Yeah, I agree with that, Martin. I mean, look, Martin says use the prop firms to fund your personal account, and I think you got to really know, you got to have your strategy down. Even if you blow out an account or two by doing something stupid, I think this stuff requires even more precision than even having your own account because they have collars. I do the preset as well. I'm doing this kind of a thing with a simple bracket of a profit target and stop loss already loaded. What are we doing here? All right, here's the check back. Are we going to get the dot? Oh, here's the other thing on the hourly, guys, that pretty interesting. I don't think it'll take off until tomorrow, but certainly by Thursday. We got the holiday on Friday, so markets are going to be really compressed. And just the last few hours of this pullback has generated a new HSI on the hourly. So nice little dump off, but that might be it. Thinking about this into tomorrow morning, like 22.7. I'm still, like I said, looking for 23.1 on this move. Maybe it goes into next week, but I'm looking for areas like that for the larger continuation. 4 hours like this. Yeah, we put in that HSI. Oh, there you go. Yeah. On the 4 hour. Ninja Trader bought Apex. Is that new? Thursday's a half day, so we'll probably be almost done, or we will be done by the time we're in here. Yeah, Leo, I agree with you. I don't like the rules either. Well, let's see if we can beat them. And just scalp style. One thing that I do, if it's a super scalp like that, 5-second charts. Like there's a good one right here. Crab pattern just went counter. You're at 49, goes to what, 52? Let's watch this. I'll wrap it up here. I'll hang on for like 5 more minutes. But I think the futures, if you're not doing futures, I think you got to look at it. Because I do know a lot of people are disappointed on the crypto. That's it. Yeah, I get it. I understand why people are disappointed, but I want to kind of highlight options for you guys. 58. It's no dot. Where's 32nd now? Up there. Let's see if we get a dot. You're now clipping it right now. Looking for a pattern. Looking for right type of pattern. Looking for, we've got a bearish here, but we don't have confirmation yet. Oh, S&P 500, guys. I didn't really even dig deep, but let's quick look at that for today, right now. 6260. What a monster. Really quick, I wanted to kind of go through S&P as well, because we are now in the overbought there weekly. But again, this week, then we go next week. It should be a big follow through and then take us to the end of the month. We'll get some inflection, but I think this has got 113 written all over it. Up 6 right now. What's the 5-minute look like? Okay, type 2 crab. I mean, that's no confirmation, but there you go. Nice type 1 reaction. That was what? Yeah, that was yesterday. Now the type 2. But we're getting a lot of these. This is the other thing, that the whole return trade, type 1 reaction, okay, get confirmation, and then just target the return. 40 to 60. Amazing. Let me go back to NQ. (30-second). Did we hit that hop? Almost. Still need, where's my dot? We should have a dot now. We should have a dot off of this retest. Hold on one second. Like there, around 70, hold on, 750. Let's see if we can hit one. That should be a dot though. That's the retest. The dot should be right there. I'll have to look at why. SPY stronger than the Qs? Yeah, you know, the S&P has been super strong. S&P hop levels are like 6350 as well. Really, let me show you that, because it definitely matters. Okay, what's the overall bias? We've been looking for this higher retest. Go to here. 61.79 blown out. The daily's like this, and that's where we get the hop level. 2 hop levels, guys. How do we know? We got 2 patterns here blowing through. We already called the breakout over 2 weeks ago. All right, 63.54, 63.52, both of those going to get tagged. Give me that or HSI en route to there. But that's why we're still looking for a few more days up. 2, 3. It's been a hell of a run since last week. Or, you know, day 7 up, 6 or 7. We do need a green candle to form on the dot. What I was looking at before was the fact that it happened a little too far from that prior reading. That's the only way I explain it. It shouldn't be like that. We did change the setting, but here for right now, we have a retest off of RTH, regular trading hours. That's a crab. 59 is your minimum, but no confirmation. And again, the way I'd line this up is, my bias is whatever the last HSI dot was. So I'm still up, go dot to dot. Here, down here, I'm thinking bullish. I see that, I'm thinking bearish until I see the next signal. Ditto back here. 5-minute dot, I'm thinking up until the next dot. So I'm thinking up until I need HSI. I need a dot until that happens. It's sometimes it's a little simplified, but it's a with the HSI dot. It's just been a great, easy read to come in. Even something like this, and that was from Monday where we had a dot early on, and it just goes sideways, and you would think, oh, I missed it, whatever. But then you got another bullish dot, which was the better opportunity later in the day. Take the time. Take the time to work with the software. I'll tell you what, if you have not won previously, first person to type in HPC 30, I'll give away a 30-day package and 30 days to the software. 30 days gold, 30 days to what we do with the software as well. You got to DM me in the Discord. So ES, right at that target. You know, we could go as high as 65 until we do something here. That's strong. Vestige, you win. Vestige, please DM me. DM me in the Discord. You got to send me your full name, email address, and TradingView username, and I'll set you up. Let's go back to NQ, guys. Let's see if we can get, I don't know, a micro pattern, 5-second pattern. Here we are. We have a dot. Checking back. I would not expect this. Again, what's the last dot? All right, let's do a little futures thing, a little tutorial. I'm coming in. Scott, is it up or down? Which way is this market going? What's the last dot? 5 minute. That's bearish. I would think, okay, respect that resistance. Maybe that's why we're stalling 22,750. Then I'm going to look at my next readings. Where's HSI going? Well, it looks like it's going up. It's above the 50. It's not pointing down yet. Then finally, I'm going to really gauge what Amplified's doing. We're well above the 50. You go back 2 hours now. That's strong. Amplified's not an issue until it rolls over and does something like that. So, all right, I've got some things to be a little aware about right now. Don't really have anything at the moment. Maybe I got this 30-second pattern here, but I have no confirmation. And my last, even on the 30-second, my last dot is a bullish dot. Don't have much there to go on. Nice zone. Here we go with another zone, and this might be more of a complex trade. But the bearish pattern that started all the way back here at about 12:45 is running out of time. Gartley. But what did we do? We reacted down, bullish HSI. React down, bullish HSI. React down, another bullish HSI. Those are signs of potential failure. Okay? And again, could you go long? Maybe. You know, if we had something, you know, maybe a retest of the dot here. But I would be looking for that to push to like 763. You're currently 748. I think also if we're going to do sessions like this, we're probably going to need to do it 9:30 to 10:30, 9:30 to 11. Only hearsay on the Ninja bought Apex. Maybe they should buy Apex. I don't know. I think there's got to be a better way. Believe me, I'm not crazy about the rules. And again, when I had that, I passed the thing on the first run, and they had, I think they had a mandatory 5-day trading. Now this is a 1-day thing or 2-day thing. I forget what it is. I think you got to get at least 1 or 2 days in. It's again, I think it's something where it's a way to get people money really easily or access to potential money, where I would see why people would be trying this over and over again. I don't know. I'd be more of the opinion that you're refining your skill, stalking, watching charts like this, and do some chart hours. Get familiar with the setups, get familiar with the pivots. The fact that, say, the primary basis of any futures opportunity is a 5-minute chart. Okay, the first one this morning came in all the way down here at like 22,640. But probably the biggest challenge is getting your time management, like personal life, in position where you're in front of the screen uninterrupted when triggers like that happen. Yes, you can set alerts, and that's probably the best way to go, but this still took 30 minutes of work. Got to know what to look for. Right now, let's see what goes on here. We're doing nothing. 46, now 2 o'clock. Didn't know. 1 hour NQ. Yeah, the 1 hour NQ I was mentioning, guys, was an HSI. But this is more for the rest of the next 2 or 3 days. My point about the 1 hour NASDAQ was simple HSI oversold, where that could be the one that sets it off. Definitely. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. So let's see if we get something here. Wayne says doing the trading view playback is helpful. I think so. I think, again, we're lining up for simple dummy dots and patterns. Okay, they're not coming that frequently. I mean, the type 1 there's the type 2. Again, that's regular trading hours. And here's electronic. Electronic 2, I like the signals on RTH better, but if you want to assess pre-market stuff, that's the way to go. But right now, 5 minutes overbought, and that's the way I would read it. That that 5 minutes got to get resolved, and maybe we come back. We're 41, probably back to like 98, guys. I would love to get this thing triggered here. Yeah, this should fall out. T176. But the last signal is a counter HSI. So I'm kind of in between. What's the HSI dot? What's up, Rick Law? He's asking if that's solely divergence. Divergence is part of it, and that's why the dot is so effective, but in the right areas. The dot is a divergence. It's a type of divergence based on the indicator reading, and we get some price agreement. Check it out. Like, look, if I'm looking at the zone right here, there's T1 goes on, but what you guys know, no confirmation, reaction only. Where's the first place you would look at that? This is a 30-second chart. It wouldn't be until that dot. And the fact that we had a counter signal there, like 06 back to the zone, is something you definitely assume. But there with the dot, you start looking. But what happens? It go back down, you get another bullish signal. That tells you it's all I can give you. I'm not going to do much here. And again, we're here with another counter dot. I like the 5 minute. The 5 minute says we need to come back in. It's NASDAQ's off 150. Would love to have a minus 300 day. But it's all good. I don't know. I'm hoping something pops, gives me a bearish dot, and then I could trigger off of that. So far, meh. But I'll keep you guys posted on what I'm doing with that. I might contact Brett over at Tradeify. I want to do this one at a time though. So far, so good. Yeah, I would try either that. You know, do a written plan, work with HPC, either do the playback mode because you can do that quickly, or if you're going to do it, 15 second. Can we even like on these super micro time frames? Look at this on a 15-second. Okay, there's the dot triggers right there. It goes to T1 at 35 exactly. Let me remove this. And I could even do this on a 5-second. So what's the last dot? Even go on a 5-second time frame. It's bullish. We're up here for the retest. Target 2, T2 has been generated, but no confirmation yet. Nothing. Or if you want to get super crazy, go to the 5-second time frame for signals, patterns. Last dot is there. Yeah, 52-ish. But check it out. We did the type 1. This is 5-second right there to 35. Now there's the 2, but where's the yellow dot? Not there yet. Not there. It should be. I'm going to have to look at this. Something's up. There should be a dot right here. This is what I'm saying. I think there's too many bars. That registers. You retest it 1 and 2. So there should be a dot here at 750. And we said that about an hour ago. I'm going to have to look at that. I don't know why that didn't register, but that, again, should register. And then go back to, 25 on that chart. But I want the dot. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right, Mr. Kennedy. You haven't lived until you've traded on 5-second time frames. I think 15-second is probably, that's as crazy as you want to go, but you're going to see all the same dynamics up here at 52. Just no confirmation. And after the session of what I said 2 weeks ago, look, we want confirmation. Absolutely. Or you're on the boat. You don't want to be on the boat, people. Don't go on the boat. I learned that long ago. No boat. Just stay and ride. Yeah, I mean, look. It's a perfect type 2 crab. If I had a dot up here, I'd say hit it. But not yet. And this is exactly the one issue with type 2s. When you don't get that confirmation, you're going to have to just let it go. Nothing yet. What about S&P? I'll just kind of flip between the two here. I'd love to get something and just... No confirmation yet. Beyond that, not much. You guys have anything else? I think you want to look at someone want to look at the dollar. Let's see if we get something there. And yeah, we will be doing a session Thursday. DXY, guys, I wouldn't really worry about it. I know a lot of people are trying to read into it and they're waiting for the end of the dollar. Look, it's not going to happen. And yes, dollar going down, typically it's good for equities. You see what's going on here for the last several weeks. I mean, look, when the dollar started to roll over, okay, that's when the markets rolled over. And dollar's still going down, but the markets have rebounded since the initial rollover. My point is, don't try to read things directly one into the other. That's weekly basis. There's the monthly. I think this monthly chart is definitely containing the whole action. And dollar is at 96. Maybe it goes back to 89, kind of a thing. I think too much is being made out of the dollar. Too much is being made out of rates. I think rates are artificially high. Again, just to kind of follow up, just so you guys know, we have metrics, 10-year yield. We have patterns. We confirmation. Okay, 10-year yield. That's up there, 4.25. I mean, maybe 20-year, 30 years, even better. But they've hit their limits, and they haven't been able to go higher. 20-year yield. These are up at 5%. There you go, 4.8. There you go. And they're rolling over. We got patterns. Roll back down. Type 2 shark. I personally think rates should be well below 4.5%, if not more like 4%. That's 20-year. They're definitely overextended, and they're overextended because remember we talked about this when they really started to spike, and I guess this is a 30-year yield to get enough data. But once the 30-year yield, and still up there at 5%, okay, not able to get through that crab pattern. That tells me eventually this is going to crack. Maybe we just consolidate for a while, but this will crack. 347 is target 1. What will the markets do? Once we realize that and we get the lift off and rates drop for 4.8 to 3.5, 3.4, that's when we get the big move. I think that's coming. Keep an eye on that. What happens when the Japanese decide to dump U.S. Treasury bonds and because they hold $1 trillion? They're not going to dump. They are dependent on that. They're not going to dump. Maybe China will dump, but even they can't dump. They can't. They're locked in. They're just because they have to refinance a whole bunch in the next year or two. They're still locked in. So they're not, that whole story of them dumping is not happening. China, maybe, but I think that's a lot of noise. Rates, especially, they're locked into harmonic levels. And I think the 5% rate on that 30-year is the max. 4.8. Shouldn't even be near 5. Should be more like 4. Quick checkup on gold, guys. 33.50 is still the level, and we're waiting, hoping, wanting correction, pullback off of 33.50, 33.70. And I don't, got to watch it here. If it's super strong, we don't sink under 3,200 again. So put 32.50 in your back pocket, because if we don't sink under 32.50, this is just a sideways dud, and we will make the run, the 3618 run, and that's to 42.70. That's it. Yep. One or two more. The TLT, I think the TLT is probably a buy. And TLT's got a massive pattern. Check this out. Where'd my pattern go? It's a bat pattern. TLT, okay, the 20-year treasury, iShares treasury. When rates go up, the price goes down, but check it out. It's a big IPO 886 reset. And it's got confirmation, everything. 92 is the 886. You're now 88. Even though this will go sideways for a while, that's probably it. And trying to make a higher low. Yielding 3.8%, tax-free. And that's a good yield for that. It's been crushed, but that's about it. Again, you might be at 88 to 90 for a long time, but that's probably the first spot to be looking to buy. And check out where we are. Look, big acceleration. You're months away, but we need a couple green bars. Get above that on rates. We see this on the TLT, then rates are going to drop precipitously like that. So we're close. And I think that's the catalyst for the bigger price discovery move on the markets. We're breaking NASDAQ. Let's go. Did that roll down off of 50? Let me see. Yeah, starting to roll over. Yeah, just not really rocking just yet. What about 30-second on? Yeah, I didn't get a dot though. I mean, I like the setup, but what I'm trying to show you guys is the ideal trade with a dot. Like that would be right there. You have a pattern, you have a dot. And that's where we started today, and we've done nothing. I'll come back. Let's try again Thursday. Maybe we'll come on a little earlier Thursday, see if we get a little action other than this. I mean, it's been in a 15-point NQ range for an hour. So. I'm still liking the resistance though for today, and target 1, 676. The 5-minute, where are we there? 5 minutes starting to break down, so this might be a better situation. We just went into that 5-minute bar. You're looking for that to happen. Get under the 50 on the 5-minute, and then you could get that larger retracement to come down. Get under that 50. Yeah, but it's a type 2, and I just want to go textbook here. I don't have a dot, so I'm not going to take the trade. Look, we talked about that for an hour a week ago. Setups. Let's see. One or two more. Webull. Yeah, look, I haven't been too concerned. Webull's like this. It was a little early, but I kind of like what's going on now. You know, it's got potential here. Whatever that SPAC announcement, I don't know what that was, up to 70. But you're looking at it like this, or the 4-hour. Probably the best place to be following. Happens. Space. SPCE. Didn't that go out of business though? Okay, maybe. If you want to, nibble at a bottom dweller, maybe 269. I don't know. I think something like Webull or these others better. Broadcom, come on. One or two more. Yeah, one or two more. Yeah, I hear that. You do want to look at silver. Silver's impressive though. Another high level counter HSI at 32. Silver's all about getting to this 34 number here. Remember, monthly chart. This is big stuff. I do think we'll hit 34. It's what happens above 34 on silver. Until then, silver steady. And then the Bitcoin dominance thing, I don't think it matters. Forget the obvious kind of where that's headed is an 886 retracement, and that's 70. And I repeat myself again, this is a Bitcoin cycle, period. You have a Gartley here that would take it to 84. I don't think anyone said 84 recently. I'm starting to like that though. I really think, Bitcoin dominance with this Gartley structure, perfect 618. First go to the 886. So for now, yeah, Bitcoin BTC's it's pegged at 70. But beyond that, and it just continues, it's a Gartley. I don't think it matters though, and I want to help everybody with that distinction. There's Bitcoin and there's everything else in crypto. And I think it's, trade Bitcoin, swing it, 4-hour patterns, 4-hour dots, stuff like that. But the rest of it, until Bitcoin's doing crazy things, I'm not going there. And my next entry, okay, and this is important to really get in front of. If I wanted a killer entry on Bitcoin for some massive second half cycle move that everyone's anticipating, it would be off the harmonics. It would be Shark to 5.0 and then 5.0 for not only the return but the failure and the continuation. And that's still above 115. I think that's your summer right there, folks. That's your summer. So please be aware of that. All right, and until 115, I'm fine with. I'm okay. I'm at peace. Yes, some of the miners started to run, and that's great for them. Clean Spark starting to finally, but what did we say? They've got to break out of this downtrend. Maybe starting for Clean Spark, Hive, or the other ones. They're still building. Right there, 208 for Hive. Not much there. That's a bottom feeder. That's all. That's a bottom feeder. And the rest, like Mara, maybe someday they'll have their day. But I think, wouldn't you need Bitcoin to go gangbusters to get these moving? And it's not there yet. I mean, Mara has been just suffering at 15 to 12 for 2 years now. I think there's a lot of things out there. Choose wisely. Look for the trending. Get the pullbacks. I don't know. I'll have new ideas next time. Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin's under 106 now, and really quick. NQ. $30. Yeah, look, the big takeaway is we are going to get a daily arrow. Okay, that's for sure. It's the first arrow we've seen since May. It's early, but maybe this starts the cap. 23,146 is the upside. Immediate objective, 23.5 probably for the summer. I would say 23,146 for now. 5 minute, meh. Slowly starting to roll over. Thursday, because I'll come in early and we'll be closing with an hour to go. So we'll come in and do it then. But that's where I'm at. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so for Bitcoin. There's a gap at 92. I'm just not fighting. I'm not fighting the signals, guys. With crypto and all of that, despite all of the talk, I'm just not going to, I'm going to stay patient with it. And, some stuff I've scaled out of at losses that I was holding, unfortunately, Cardano being one of them. That was just unnecessary. But learn from it, move on, and stick with the stocks. Let these pullbacks come our way, and then just, you guys know how I feel about the rest of this year and beyond. All right. Listen, come on back. Hit the subscribe button to get the next notification. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. Also, hit me up on the Discord. Look, I'm open to comments, commentary, markets. And I'll keep you guys in the loop of what I do with this Apex, or if I try I try the other Tradeify. I didn't like Top Step. And anything else, I'm open to suggestions. All right? That's what I have for today, folks. Get over to Harmonic Trader. You know the business. Until then,